Welcome back to When Bad Things Happen to Good People, a podcast about censorship and the arts. My name's Todd Sullivan. With me, as always, is Oren Barter.
That's my name.
That's his name.
Don't wear it out.
And today, we read a few books that were pulled just last week. We read them all through just to give them a peek. And now we decide if it was for good or for bad, this thing that has made all the conservatives mad.
Now I feel bad for not coming up with a rhyme. You fucker, you stole the show.
Yeah, no, I knew a couple of days ago that I was going to have to open it with a rhyme, and I tried a couple of days ago, and it was like, I don't know how to do this. And then after reading like 5 Dr. Seuss books back to back today, it was like, oh, okay, I think I get it.
How about this? When conservatives are mad, you shouldn't be wary. Their arguments tend to be very contrary.
I think so. I've discovered that there's basically 2 tricks that Dr. Seuss uses when he's rhyming, and one is to go with like really easy words to rhyme, and then the other
is just to make shit up.
It's to just invent words.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Honestly, that is a great Shakespeare. Love to do that too.
So yeah, we're talking about Dr. Seuss today. Dr. Seuss and the 6 books that have been pulled by Dr. Seuss Enterprises, which is the company that kind of handles all of his publishing rights.
Wait. Dr. Seuss Enterprises handles the Dr. Seuss books? Really?
That's right. That is correct.
Wow.
You'd think You'd think that maybe they were a pharmaceutical company, maybe. They're not.
They definitely deal with the Dr. Seuss books.
Who was Dr. Seuss? Do you know what his real name was?
Dr. Seuss, his name was Stephen Melibrick Oppenheimer. And he was a doctor of psychology.
Seuss is just a nickname, right?
Yes. No, okay. I honestly, I don't know anything.
Was Dr.
Really
Seuss, here's a question for you. Was Dr. Seuss an actual doctor?
Yes.
No,
of course
he
wasn't.
wasn't.
How silly would that be?
He called himself Dr. Seuss, though, because his dad kind of always wanted him to get into medicine. So it's like, well, I'm doing children's books instead, but maybe if I just call myself doctor, some part of my dad's heart will be warmed. Yeah. No, his name was Theodore Seuss Geisel. He
That's what I said.
Born March 2nd, 1904, died September 24th, 1991 of cancer.
R.I.P.
He was an American children's author, political cartoonist, illustrator, poet, animator, and filmmaker, all according to Wikipedia, and they know what they're talking about over there.
They really do.
He is known for working, writing, and illustrating more than 60 books under the pen name Dr. Seuss. His work includes many of the most popular children's books of all time, selling over 600 million copies and being translated into more than 20 languages by the time of his death. He is also currently the second most profitable dead person after Michael Jackson.
That's a morbid thing.
I mean, only to think that there are lists.
Hold on, sorry, I got to get that right. I got to see the actual word that is.
Okay,
ready?
Yeah.
That's a morbid fact.
I guess, yeah. I thought it was a fun fact, but
okay,
it was a fun morbid fact.
It's I guess they're not mutually exclusive, right?
The sad fact about this is that there's a long list of dead celebrities who are still making more money than you or I. Massive.
And you know what? That's the most frustrating thing about that is that we are living celebrities.
The comedy just doesn't stop here, guys.
Hey, fucker, what are you drinking? Oh, sorry. We're doing children's book sessions.
We're doing Hey, friend.
Hey, friend. What the frig are you drinking?
Yeah, I've got I'm back to old classics. I've got the Mighty 90 Whistler Brewing Pale Ale low carb beer. I think it's only got 2 grams of carbs. It's a favorite of mine.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you got going on? For the St. Patrick's Day, the day that we're recording here.
Right. So, honestly, I had no idea it was St. Patrick's Day. I didn't wear a lick of green until I put on my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pajamas. So that's covered.
Is that what
green.
you're recording in right now?
That is what I'm recording in right now.
That is hot, man.
You know what? It's all about the image in the show. But I'm drinking the last few sips of Night Watch Lighthouse Coffee Lager.
Oh, I think I've had that.
Yeah, it's good. And then, which you'll probably hear me cracking open within the next couple of minutes, is a tall can of Kirin Ichiban beer.
So it's like made from noodles?
It is not. Then that is a little bit racist, which I think should be the theme of tonight.
The theme should not be racist.
No, it's like just a little bit racist. Like there was nothing in these books that really stood out to me. Like, okay, Dr. Seuss, Theodore, calm your tits. But there was some things that were like, okay, that's a little bit racist.
Yeah.
So no, this is just it's premium beer.
I don't think it's racist to say that, like, it's not about race, it's about brand name.
Yeah, but Ichiban, it makes noodles. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. So it's like if you had said you'd open a can, if you had opened a can of like Heinz Lager, I'd be like, oh, is it made with ketchup? That's not a race thing. It's just that's what the name is known for. So okay. I think you're the one jumping to racist conclusions here.
Maybe you're right.
So Dr. Seuss's birthday, March 2nd, has been adopted in the U.S. as the annual date for National Read Across America Day, which is an initiative on reading created by the National Education Association. And that's kind of where this all started. For the last couple of years, Read Across America Day has been distancing itself a little bit from Dr. Seuss books. They haven't been pushing his books as much as before.
Now, how would that feel? Like just people like not getting close to you on your birthday. They're like, it's his birthday. Like, just get the fuck away from him. Like that guy's weird. That guy's done
You're also dead in that scenario, though. Let's remember that, too.
Right, but you're also making way more money than we are.
Right. So you're dead, and people aren't reading your posthumous books as much on your birthday. Does that hurt your feelings? Well, no, because you're also dead. I think the Dr. Seuss Enterprises maybe had some concerns as they were watching maybe sales drop a little bit. And they were getting feedback from schools and organizations about some of the imagery in some of these books. And over the course of, I think over the course of like 2020, I think they said they kind of looked at it and they announced this year again on March 2nd on National Read Across America Day. They said, we're going to be pulling these 6 books from publication because they do feature racial stereotyping or insensitive images. Mm-hmm. Those books were, And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. And we got our hands on 5 of those books, and we read them. And now we're going to talk about them. Let's start with And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street, which I think... So first of all, the version that I got, this book was published or copyrighted in 1937.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book is old.
So this is the oldest of them.
Yeah.
And I ended up, when I was reading the Wikipedia pages about these books afterwards, I realized that the version that we read is actually the original version.
Okay.
So there were some changes made to this version of the book later than this version. In the version that we read, so first of all, what is this book about?
This
I want to take a minute to talk about...
Sure. Yeah.
Talk about what each of these books are about, and so we can talk about whether, like, what are we really losing when we take these books out of circulation? Would you care to describe this book?
I mean, I've been trying for the last 2 minutes, but you keep cutting me off.
No, my apologies.
I'm just joking. No, like this book was just about a kid who wanted to have a cool story to say when he came back to his dad about what he saw on Mulberry Street, and he just left his imagination.
That though.
Why?
This is a book about a kid who's a fucking liar. He goes on to Mulberry Street and he sees this thing and is like, you know what? That's boring.
Too boring. Yeah.
I'm going to make up a bunch of shit and I'm going to tell my dad that that's what I saw because I'm a liar. I can't stop lying.
But he doesn't lie in the end. He tells his dad the truth. He wants to come up with this great big story, and then every time he revisions the story, he says, well, if that's going to be the case, then this has to be the case. And then he just builds this extravagant event that happened on Mulberry Street. And then when he gets home and his dad's like, what happened? And he's like, well, I saw a horse pulling a
That's
wagon.
because he knows by now that if he lies to his dad about what he saw again, he's going to go to his room without any dinner.
This was 1937. If he lied to his father, he was probably going to get beat a little bit.
Yeah, he was going to get a little bit of the belt.
Yeah.
So the problematic part comes when he describes a Chinaman who eats with sticks. And then that Chinaman, of course, is drawn in kind of a classical, stereotypical Chinese way with the squinted eyes, yellow ink for the skin.
Mm-hmm.
And the two things that they did change later is they removed the yellow ink, which is, I guess, slightly better. Mm-hmm. And they changed it to Chinese man rather than Chinaman.
Yeah.
Because Chinaman is considered a slur. I don't know if it would have been in 1937. I mean, these are things that obviously change, but I think even then it was considered not something you said because you loved and respected the Chinese people. And that's pretty much the only reference in there.
No, hold on. I thought it was just a slightly bit worse than that on that one. I'm just trying to find it again here.
I mean, yeah, he's got the bowl and he's got the chopsticks and the squinted eyes, and I think he's got like the black-haired ponytail. And probably some kind of like traditional outfit on. Oh
yeah, you're right. No, yeah, this wasn't the worst one. Yeah, it was just the Chinaman who eats with sticks, and yeah, he's drawn with yellow ink. So are the rabbits. But yeah, I guess everybody else is drawn with white ink. Well,
that was, I mean, at the time, that was just how you illustrated, like, how do we know this person's Chinese? Well, you give him squinty eyes and we make him yellow.
We put him...
That's it.
Yeah. Not super racist, but...
Not super racist, but also at the same time, there's nothing in this book that needs to exist. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean...
Sure, I guess it's a fun book about a kid using his imagination, but the flip side, it's about a kid who likes lying to his dad, and... Is it that great? No, it's not. We can live with it.
It wasn't bad. I mean, but compared to like One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue...
I mean, none of these are like... I know, that is so hard to say.
Or The Cat in the Hat, like this thing it's not iconic. I think that if it was iconic, Dr. Seuss, they would have just changed something. I think they would have kept it.
There are apparently some problematic things in The Cat in the Hat. Don't know what those are. But in the story I read, they mentioned that there are in there, and they are still planning to publish The Cat in the Hat for now. So yeah, I think the popularity of the book, or the sales that the book continues to get, is playing a part in which ones they decide to pull. Like these ones aren't moving.
Oh
right?
Yeah,
nobody
definitely
gives a shit about Mulberry Street anymore.
And if these are going to start affecting their ability to be kind of featured in large book sale events,
yep,
it only makes sense to they're not even pulling them. They're not going to produce them anymore.
Exactly.
Right? It's not like they're like, okay, we're going to find every single copy of these books and we're going to make sure that nobody's ever going to be able to say that they've seen these. Like, no. They're just like, okay, we've been publishing these books for the last, 80 years? 90 years? For this one?
Yeah, something like that.
They're
37?
They're ceasing to do it. And they're doing it for profit. I mean, and maybe as well for an image for the company, and maybe whoever made the decision made it on a moral basis as well. I don't know, but mostly I think financial. And to my conservatives, who apparently are really upset about this, that's not cancel culture. That is capitalism, which is exactly everything that you love about Western
capitalism culture.
Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck you want. But apparently you just want to be angry all the time.
Mulberry Street has had a good run. I'm happy to pour one out for it. Sayonara, kid who can't stop lying.
Okay.
So now we run into these are all pretty much about kids imagining wonderful things. Because here we have If I Ran the Zoo, which is all about a kid who goes to the zoo and goes like, it's all right, I guess, but if I was in charge, I would do all these things differently by finding all of these animals that don't exist. And then forcing them into captivity. And how much better would that be if my zoo had things that don't exist? Because this one doesn't.
Right. But yeah, I think this one, this one was a little bit worse than Mulberry.
This one just has multiple instances, I think, and maybe the instances are a little bit worse.
Well, like I'll hunt in the mountains of Zamba Matant with helpers who all wear their eyes in a slant. I guess it must be Zamba Matant. Clearly referring to people of Chinese heritage again.
Yeah.
Same thing. They're dressed with sandals, long kind of kimono-like shirts. They're not yellow skinned.
So so by 1950, which is when this book was published, we've made some progress. We've gone like, okay, we can stop coloring them yellow. I think people get it now.
No, I think there was one instance in this book where he not only talked about imprisoning a creature in the zoo, but also a person who happened to be somebody who lived in the desert.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So Mulligatawny is fine for my zoo, and so is a chieftain. I'll bring one back too. So that is, kind of dehumanizes the person that he's talking about. I can see that being a little bit racist for sure. I think those are the only two that I noticed on there. What did you? Well,
so there was the chieftain from the desert of Zind sort of had like an Indian or Persian look to him. He was like on a camel kind of a thing with a turban. That's something that kind of look appears a couple of times in these books. But then there was a massively racist. When he goes to the African island of Yurka, and there were pictures of these three Africans with like very black skin, this kind of top knot hairstyle, big lips, massive nose ring, and like
I don't think that was in the version that I read.
Skirt. Oh, really?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, wow. Because that is in there.
It's not. That's the one not in the version that I've got here.
That's the one that stood out to me as kind of the most blatantly like, oh, okay, wow. Because at least with the the Chinese caricature, they're wearing clothing, right? Right. With the Africans, he's gone right to savages with like the only thing that would have made it worse maybe is if it had been a bone through their nose rather than the ring. Like that would have been just a little bit more stereotypical and bad and racist. No,
the version that I have does not have that in at all. It does have a very Russian-y Russian. He's got like
I remember seeing that too. And I almost made note of it.
Bullets for like what do you call them? Suspenders. He's got bullets strapped around him. He's got the big Russian hat, the big Russian beard.
Is it possible you just scrolled past it and didn't notice it? Because I mean,
no,
I don't see why
no, I definitely would have noticed that. Oh my God, you're right. Holy fuck, how did I miss that? I just thought they were animals. Holy shit, yeah, that's bad. I just assumed it was like some creature that he drew because it doesn't look human. Yeah. No, that's really bad.
There were a few points where I was like, I'm not seeing anything. Am I really paying attention to the pictures? Do I need to look at more? Because sometimes I just get into the flow of reading and I focus on the words and not the illustrations.
Yeah, I think that's what I did as well. I kind of looked over. I saw the little tuft of hair I mentioned. Like he draws a lot of birds with the tuft of hair on the top. I kind of just assumed it was just, that's bad. Yeah. That's bad.
Okay, that's that book.
Yeah.
Next is McElligot's Pool, which is from 1947. And
I don't remember anything really like hitting home with this one.
Yeah. So this is a book about a stupid kid at a bad fishing pool.
Jeez, you just don't like the kids in Dr. Seuss books. You're like, that one's a fucking liar.
I don't know.
That one doesn't know what animals exist. This one's just fucking stupid.
I don't know if I made this clear or not at the beginning of the podcast like I meant to, but a grown man or any grown person should not read 5 Dr. Seuss books back to back. It will fuck your head up. When we get to the next book, I objectively hate the next book.
See, I like the next book, so, on one side, fuck you, but also let's talk about it.
Get ready to defend that position.
I will.
So yeah, this is about some kid who's fishing in a shitty fishing hole that's got nothing but garbage in it. And some dude comes along. This helpful dude is like, "Don't fish in this pool. There's no fish and it's got garbage in it." The kid's like, "Yes, but maybe there's an underground tunnel that goes all the way to the ocean."
What about yeah, but what about?
Yeah.
What about?
And so again, it's this fantasy imagining of all the different fishes that could come from all over the world to this underground tunnel to this fishing hole that really is just filled with garbage because this is where teenagers go to party.
Jesus, you hate teenagers. You're like, fuck this kid, he's a fucking liar. Fuck that kid, he's stupid. Fuck those teenagers. They just dumping shit all over the place.
Well, they were in 1947. Yeah, they were partying out of the pond and like tossing shit in there because nobody knew about recycling. Apparently the problematic thing in here is the reference to Eskimos.
Okay.
Some Eskimo fish from beyond Hudson Bay. I guess it's considered kind of a slur in Canadian English, not so much in American English. And then, of course, sort of the stereotypical drawing of them in these sort of like woolly things or whatever. That's apparently what the issue is. It's not that bad, but again, it's not that great a book either. So,
no, yeah, this one isn't great.
I think, to a certain extent too, I imagine there's a combination of what Dr. Seuss Enterprises is doing here of getting rid of books that aren't selling and also going for kind of social awareness points by using these justifications for it.
That makes
saying,
sense.
Like, we're getting rid of these things because admittedly, I do think Eskimo maybe is a bit of a stretch. I don't know personally how much of a slur that would be to, I guess, Inuit. Is that the proper term?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
But obviously there is a certain amount of, brand promotion that's going on through this. Like, they didn't just
definitely.
Nobody's
been talking about Dr. Seuss like this. Like, I mean,
no, God, no.
Like, even like riding this wave of controversy must be helping them. I would imagine it can't hurt them. And
next,
the fact that it's a controversy is fucking stupid, though. But anyway.
Yep. Now, to be fair,
yeah.
if this was a parents group going to a school and fighting to get these books removed on these grounds, I could see some controversy there because at that point it is censorship.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's the business and the business is deciding to do with what they own as a business, that's, like you said, it's not cancel culture, it's capitalism culture.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah. Next book is On Beyond Zebra, which I think is the most recent book of the ones we read, which is 1955.
No. The cat. I didn't read The Cat's Quizzer, but that was 76.
Right, which is why I said of the ones we read.
Oh, okay, got you.
See,
yeah.
This is. I choose my words carefully, there, sir. On behalf of being a podcast host, you see.
I mean, I just, it's like word salad for me. It's like
just blurt out whatever you want.
Whatever comes to mind, but most things don't come. I usually just sit there and go like, and I nod at the fucking microphone when you're saying stuff. And it's like, this is
sometimes it's mulberry, sometimes it's mulligan. Who knows nobody knows what's coming out of your mouth half the time.
And as I'm nodding to you at my through my microphone, I'm like, this is a good podcast. This is going to be a good podcast. And I listened to it. I was like, I didn't say anything.
We'll do a special video podcast one day so everyone can
see my. Hey, you know what? Like, I look very content. Like it's a good, like, solid, like, I understand kind of nod. You know, like, it's not just one of those. It's like, it's not like a fast nod or like one of those, like, kind of a no nods. It's like a really good, like, yeah, man, I got you.
Yeah, it's slow, but it's like you're really giving it good thought.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm doing it right now.
Excellent. I can imagine it. I can see it in my head.
Okay, so let's
viewers, listeners at home, take a moment to imagine that in your head, and it'll improve your podcasting experience. And you can even go back and listen to past episodes now and try to put that picture in your head and see how much better those episodes get. So why don't you tell me, sir, what On Beyond Zebra is about?
So On Beyond Zebra is about all the letters that this kid with a really fucked up name. What the fuck was his name? De Tot de Lagatodden?
No.
Hold on, I'm open.
I don't think the narrator ever gets named, but the kid that he's teaching the alphabet to. Does
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Yeah, the
Courtney.
The kid. No. Conrad Cornelius O'Donnell Odell.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was O'Dowd. Wasn't it O'Dowd?
No, it's Odell.
Okay, fine.
My very young friend who is learning to spell.
Right. So there's a bunch of imaginary letters. Here's my problem with this book. Here's what he says. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z.
But like everything is spelled with the 26
with
letters.
Actual
of the
letters.
alphabet. Yeah,
right?
But also like
It's like, no. Stop. Just listen.
Okay.
Like right away, he introduces the word yuz, which he uses to spell yuzamatuz, and then he says like he couldn't have spelled it that way. And it's like, no, you just did. You didn't use the yuz letter. It's YUZZ-A-MA-TUZZ. You never used the letter that you introduced and claimed had to be used to spell that word. The central concept of this book is wrong.
Yeah, I disagree because there was no way for it, like especially for a child. He can't introduce this letter, say that this letter sounds like this, and then use that letter in the next sentence and expect his audience to understand what he's talking about.
Look, if you're going to tell me that you cannot spell a word without that letter, and then you spell that same word without using that letter, you are once again a liar in a Dr. Seuss book.
Okay, but here's the thing. Yes, he is lying about needing these letters to spell the animals that he's talking about. But here's the thing, and I really appreciated this book for this. It really opens up the idea to a child's mind that even things as fundamental as the alphabet came out of the human imagination, and that there is room to grow from there. Whether or not that means, obviously most people...
to your friends.
Okay. Obviously, that doesn't mean that most kids are going to go out and make their own language. Some kids do, and it is an exercise in creativity. And I appreciated that in this book. I agree with you. None of these letters were necessary, but it really does open up, I think, that idea in a kid's mind that everything around him, from the alphabet to the names of things and places, they all came from an imagination.
Okay, well, if kids make their own alphabet, they should just make sure that the words that they spell with that alphabet can't be spelled any other way.
Okay, but you can you can spell you can spell Japanese words with the Roman alphabet. It doesn't necessarily mean that Japan doesn't need to have their own alphabet or their own writing system.
No one is saying that you require the Japanese alphabet to spell Japanese words. This kid is claiming literally that you have to use these letters to spell these things, that they can't be spelled any other way.
All right. He's okay. If you want to split hairs, which I know you do.
I'm honestly going to admit that if this was maybe the first book I'd read, I'd probably have a better reaction to it. But because this came along when I was already getting tired of Dr. Seuss, I was just like, fuck this guy by this point. Okay. Last book.
Okay, but hold on. What was
what was bad on this one?
Yeah.
I think it was the Nazim of Bazim, who again is one of these kind of Eastern Indian,
right,
Parisian or Persian. The guy on the camel, he's got a turban, he's got sort of the baggy pants, kind of like in Aladdin, wherever that's set.
Well, Aladdin is Arab, so
there you go.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing that was problematic, and again, it's not huge in my mind, but not compared to some of the other ones, at least.
No, definitely. And you know what? I'm surprised that I missed that one in the zoo one. Like, I think maybe it was just like so far beyond anything I was expecting to see that my brain didn't even register.
Your brain blocked it out. Yeah.
It didn't even block it out. It was just like, I saw an image with a few animals. We're talking about animals in a zoo. So, but that one, no bueno, Theodore.
Yeah.
Come on, Ted. You can do better.
We've got one more book that we read. It's called Scrambled Eggs Super from 1953. I will say this one is my favorite book.
Okay.
Because I can get behind the goal of trying to make even better scrambled eggs. I like scrambled eggs.
Okay.
But you know what? If there's a way that we can make some better scrambled eggs,
super.
If we can make some scrambled egg super duper poopers duper from Edwin O'Tooper or whatever his name was or something like that, I'm down for that. Although again, the one thing I thought was interesting about this book is it's a kid's book, so of course this is what happens when like a grown man spends a couple hours reading 5 Dr. Seuss books in a row. I'm like, why is he judging all of these eggs based on like their taste? Like that's like a secondary feature of what an egg is meant to do, right? Eggs are not necessarily meant to be eaten. They're part of the reproductive process of birds, right? And so there was one point he mentions that there was an egg he left behind because it was like too thick and it tasted bad. And I'm like, that's so cool. This bird has evolved an egg that has a better survival chance because nothing's going to eat it.
Nothing's going to eat it.
Whereas according to the book, this is a bad thing because in the book's mind, the only purpose of eggs is to be eaten as part of this excellent scrambled egg. So I thought that was entertaining. And I think in this book, again, it's the Eskimos again, which is problematic.
Okay.
But again, there was another sort of Arab-looking fellow at a certain point as well. But again, they were just minor sort of instances. And again, nothing like the Chinese caricatures or the African caricatures that were just woo.
Yeah.
And then there's one more called The Cat's Quizzer, which we didn't read that... maybe it's the worst. We don't know because we didn't read it and can't comment.
I mean, we can, but we'd be lying.
Oh, I actually looked it up at one point. It was... Okay. I'll have to look it up again, but it is maybe not great. And it's less visual, I think, and more of a something in the text. Oop. It's like a series of questions.
Okay.
The book. Not a proper like quiz book though, because it's Dr. Seuss, and so all of the made up answers are going to be lies. Yeah, so apparently the reason for the book's withdrawal from publication is an illustration on page 11 of a yellow figure in a coolie hat with the caption, "How old do you have to be a Japanese?"
Okay.
So, that's that. The answer is it's not age dependent. You're either born Japanese or you're not. Good try, Cat in the Hat. You almost got me there, but not this time.
You're like, holy shit, I'm getting old. Am I Japanese now?
The grand scheme of things, I don't think we're losing out on a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm not super heartbroken
with these books. I know there's been a lot of posts on Facebook the last 3 weeks or so that are focused on like, these are all the things. Pardon me. These are all the positive things I learned from Dr. Seuss. And it's like, great. None of those are in these books. So what's the problem then? We can continue learning these good things that we learn from things like, I don't know, the Lorax, I think, has good messages. Horton Hears a Who has some good messages. The Grinch has some good messages. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish just remains hard to say out loud. Speaking of which, I was going to tell you.
I can't say that, but I can say wacky inflatable arm flailing two band. I can say that, but I can't say red fish. Fuck.
Fuck. I have a tongue twister for you to try.
Okay.
One that I invented while I was driving around with Morgan a couple of months ago.
Okay.
It's very simple. It's 2 words, or 3 words, I guess. Kermit the Turnip.
Kermit the Turnip. Kermit the Turnip.
5
Kermit
times.
Oh my God. Kermit the Turnip. Kermit the Turnip. Kermit the Turnip. Kermit the Turnip.
It's tricky.
Oh, tell you what, hold on. Just give me the raw files. I'm going to say it one time. Yeah. Can't even say it once.
You're going to say it once and then you're just going to copy and paste it.
Exactly. Kermit the Turnip. And then we're just going to paste it 5 times. Okay. And be like, boom. For sure. Done.
You would too.
I would.
Yeah. And
I would do that just to win at a children's game. Do not test me.
In a podcast about children's books. No great loss in these books. Even my favorite one, an ode to how awesome scrambled eggs are. It's not going to help me because none of those eggs are real. I can't even learn from that book to make better scrambled eggs.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's funny. The one that you thought was your least favorite was my most favorite.
Yeah.
And I think for very different reasons. I don't know. One, because you're just a bigoted old man, and then like I thought.
Hey, now.
No, I'm just joking.
Where did the bigoted come from? I can take the old man, but bigoted?
No, I'm just joking. No, I really enjoyed it.
I expect a narrator in a book to play fair.
Okay.
I don't care if that narrator's a kid.
Okay.
And I don't care if that kid thinks he can get away with it because this younger kid isn't smart enough to figure it out. I'm the one reading the book. And if you're going to make this claim that you can't spell these words without these imaginary letters, you can't turn around and then spell the words with those imaginary letters. You're now a fucking liar whose whole central conceit for this book has been exposed to be flawed. That's it. That's my final point.
Take it to Congress.
Fuck this kid.
Lobby.
I don't have to. The book's already being removed.
Take to the streets, Todd. To the streets.
My work. I don't even have to start. Dr. Seuss
Enterprises. You need to do it. You need to do a Canadian protest. You need to write a sign that says, "I am a little bit upset." You need to stand outside.
No, you're missing the point. I don't have to do anything. It's already being removed.
Right.
It's done.
Right. Well, then stop bitching about it. You already won. You didn't even try and you won.
If I wanted to find a book that I could piss on, I can't because it doesn't exist anymore. And eBay, I guess it's been delisted from eBay now too because like the collector's values are going through the roof.
So okay.
It'll probably come back in a couple of months.
If anybody's listening and you have any of these books and they're in good shape, congratulations. Yeah, we would love to read these hard copies. Just send them our way.
Yeah. And not at all hang on to them until their value gets really, really, really high.
And then we'll misplace them.
Profit.
And when you ask for them back, we'll be like, bro, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Ask the kid who doesn't know how to spell.
I think Oren had them last.
Fuck you.
We'll just keep we'll just keep sending them back and forth. And you say like, I thought Todd had them. Yeah. That's the.
I think Todd gave them to his kid. I don't know.
Okay, that's about it. I don't know if there's much else to say.
Okay. Out of five, Loraxes.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Some good rhymes, but too many lying kids and dumb kids.
Kids
who don't know what they're talking about. Todd
gives us 3 lying kids out of 5.
How about you?
How many lying kids were there? Okay, there was the pawn kid. He was a liar. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. There was the alphabet kid. Apparently,
the street kid.
I'm going to speak on your behalf on this one and say fuck that kid. 3 was the
Mulberry Street. Mulberry Street was a liar.
Yeah, he was a liar.
A zoo kid was just imagination.
No, but he was a liar. He was like looking right at the zoo man. He's like, I could do better.
Maybe he could if he could get like 5-legged lions or 10-legged lions.
He was looking right at the zoo guy. He was like, you know what? Fuck you. I know how to do your job better than you, and I'm 5.
I guess technically Egg Guy was a liar too because he actually said that he went and got all those eggs that don't exist, and he couldn't have because they don't exist.
Right. So 5 lying children out of 5.
That is the real heritage of Dr. Seuss, teaching kids the value of lying for entertainment.
You know what? I'm gonna give these overall 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed most Dr. Seuss books that I read, so I like the rhyming. Yeah. I'm pretty easy to please. I mean, change the pictures.
So you didn't have the same kind of brain breaking effect by the end of it that I did. That it was
no,
just like,
but also
fucking rhyming.
But also, and this will probably be for bonus content. But I totally forgot we were recording this week, so I read them within a 25-minute time span before we started this podcast. So, I don't think I had a chance to open up the same floodgates as you. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm not sad that they're going to be gone. It's not my call. Do your thing, Dr. Seuss Publishing Incorporated, whatever the fuck your name is. Enterprises. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not heartbroken. If it was maybe Cat in the Hat, I think I'd be a little more pissed, but these were okay. They weren't great.
There you go. Final thoughts. These were okay. Not great. Official word from Oren. Thanks for listening. We're taking next week off. And then we're back again for the big Easter weekend crossover hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
Which I think will be a good time. Carlosia will be around. We'll have 2 episodes out that weekend. And Oren will be guesting over on Half Cut Conspiracies. And speaking of which,
Carlo will be guest speaking on When Bad Things Happen to People.
Did I not mention Carlo was going to be here?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay.
No. Sorry, I didn't think you did.
I may not have, but you might have helped fill that blank. We'll see. Speaking of Half Cut Conspiracies, let's talk about all the other things that are related to blah, blah, blah media. Of course, you can... there's the other podcast, Half Cut Conspiracies, which I host with my friend Carlos here, where we have drinks and we talk about conspiracy theories, and it's fun and we laugh, and conspiracy theories are silly.
It's very different from this podcast where we drink and we argue with each other.
Right. It's a different tone. It's a different tone. It's more laughs and fewer debates. Although there are laughs, of course, here too. We have fun over here in podcast land, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/bandthingshappen. You can also email us at bandthingshappen@gmail.com if you
please
like what we're
email
doing.
us. It's like a barren wasteland. Send us something.
Send us something.
No
tell
dick
us
pics,
what you liked on the podcast.
No dick pics.
Tell us what you didn't like on the podcast. Tell us what you think we should read next. When we were live last week, someone suggested maybe we cover Of Mice and Men, which maybe we're going to add to our upcoming list of books to cover. If you have something you think we should read, we can't know about it if you don't tell us. And one of the easiest ways to tell us is to email us. We have a website. It is blahblahblahmedia.com. You can find all of our podcasts there for both this and for Half Cut Conspiracies. One day soon, that's going to be sort of like the best place to find all of the social links and everything else. But for the moment, I haven't done those changes yet, so they're coming still. If you want to support us, we have Patreon. We're at patreon.com/blahblahblahmedia. You can subscribe for anywhere from $2 to, what's the highest? $500 a month, I think.
Yeah, I mean, do it. No, what do we give them for the 5? Well, I can't even remember.
They're the virtual, like digital virtual producer, I think. No, something. Anyway, what they get is like direct access to us. Like everything we spend the money on, we're sending them pictures of it. We're like live streaming with them. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly, I think just sending pictures of what we spend the money on.
It's like, here's my new shirt. Do you like it? No, just joking.
Yeah. And then you can, if you just want to do a one-time donation, that's Buy Me a Coffee. It's buymeacoffee.com/blah, blah, blah. You can buy us as many coffees as you want. My mom recently bought us some coffees, which we're going to turn into beers magically and drink them. She bought them to thank us for, or to congratulate us for surviving the Turner Diaries.
Yeah. Oh, that was very nice of her.
Oh, my mom's a sweetheart.
It was very nice of her.
And then I guess I should mention another podcast I'm on called Mysteries of Madness with Dave Coleman. And it's a mystery RPG with horror elements set in 1940s LA. We're just starting a brand new story arc over there, so now's a good time to like jump in and get on board with this new story. Although to be fair, it is sort of a continuing epic, so you need to go back and maybe listen from the beginning.
Go back and listen because it is very, very good. Very good. what Dave is doing is like he's piecing together, he's dramatizing everything with sound effects, with music.
Exactly.
It's really cool. It's a lot of fun to listen to. Absolutely.
Any final words before we go?
I mean,
do you have anything you want to promote? Do you have like a cool Twitter account that you think people should follow? Or
no, I mean,
Instagram or you need to do something cool that we can promote here.
I do cool stuff. I have an album.
There you go.
Check it out.
Where can
people
find
it's
your
like
album?
15 years old. Find it on iTunes, Google Play Music.
There you go.
No, I got nothing to really promote. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I like doing this.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this, I'm really happy that you're here listening to this with us.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's a virtual hug for all our listeners right now. Here, I'll give you a little hug, and maybe you'll feel better that the big bad Dr. Seuss Enterprises is taking these books.
Oh, no, I do have a final thought. Okay, to everybody who is upset about this, what the fuck? What the fuck, man?
Very wise.
What the fuck?
Yeah. With that, my name's Todd Sullivan.
My name is Oren Barter.
And this has been When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Now go read a different fucking book, because these books aren't available anymore. Bye.